Our oldest car in here of this group, I have to think now, is the aluminum-bodied car. This is a 1911 3795. Back then, the nomenclature for designation of horsepower and the model numbers was the first number would be your taxable horsepower, your second number would be the actual horsepower. So in this case, it's 95 horsepower. This is a 9.5 liter four-cylinder. 8-inch bore, something like 8-inch stroke, 3-valve motor, originally hand crank only. They added a starter at some point, thank God, because it's a real beast to start otherwise. It's a 3-valve motor, one intake valve, 2 exhaust valves, so it is a multi-valve engine officially. Overhead valve, it's a jug configuration, so they're all basically bolted on these big crankcases as they typically were back then. The 2895 is the wooden-bodied car, the skiff as it's called. It's a 1914. This is pre-merger years still, so we're just dealing with Mercedes and not Benz yet. The merger hadn't happened until 1926, and we'll touch on that a little bit more. This car is a wood-bodied car. Termites and all that good stuff are a consideration on a car like this. It is unrestored, so it is, has been like this since 1914. It's had very little work done to it. Cleaned up several times and rebuilt what needed to be rebuilt. It fundamentally has a World War I aircraft engine in it. So it is an overhead cam 6-cylinder. It's welded jug configuration, which means that instead of casting metal into a mold, it's actually all welded together, each part of the cylinder, the combustion chambers. It's a very, very complicated and difficult system to work with. A motor rebuild on this car is a lot of money, so that maintaining and keeping these things running, making sure that they're serviced properly is a big part of longevity on a car like this. As any car, obviously, is maintenance. The only thing that's not original you'll see in the car, there's the canvas seat covers. And behind that is the original interior. It's completely disintegrated. There's hardly anything left. But they took some canvas and made little seat covers, and they used coffee and tea and grease to make them look old. It would look really strange to have some brand new white sheet in there. So they have to make it look a little bit older in that regard. If you look, it looks a little funny how the car ends. It sort of just chops off all of a sudden. And unfortunately, at some point, someone decided that they really wanted luggage space and chopped about 3 feet of the car off. They probably devalued it by several $100,000 when they did that. So they've got the 2 trunks on there now. It's kind of unfortunate they did that, but that's the way it goes. This car won a special award from a committee for preservation of original cars in Pebble Beach about, I think it's 3 years ago. So it was recognized as one of the most original cars in the world in terms of its longevity and how long it's been on the road. It's still together, original engine, original chassis, gearbox, all that stuff. So runs and drives fantastic, as the other one does too. It is a very interesting sound. That sounds like the whole thing's about to fall apart at any moment. So you really have to make sure that everything's bolted down real good, or it will come loose.